What's up, y'all?
How y'all doing, man?
I'm Jared, by the way.
I'm Josh. Good to be here.
Just in case you don't know,
That's right. It's
just a friendly reminder. That's
every
all it
time.
is.
Every time is somebody's first time. So welcome.
What's up? Swirling in the heavens up above us tonight is Hugh Hefner. That happened the day after we recorded our last show, I believe. And, you know, to say somebody like that's polarizing is putting it lightly. But how do you not give somebody that made it that long their props? Uh, Legendary stick man, revolutionized an industry, and was, from all accounts, a good dude. Seemed to be a very likable guy.
The two things about Hef. One of them is like so modern, it's really stupid. And I shouldn't mention it because, like you're talking about, this is a long career of good stuff. But that's the second one. The first one is I know it's the standard joke and everybody always says it, but I will ask you this: have you ever read articles in Playboy magazine? Have you ever read one of those interviews? The man was awesome. I mean, the guy, some of the writing talent that he attracted to that book, however he attracted him there, do you think, was incredible. The second thing, this is the modern thing, man, is I despise Twitter. I think y'all probably, if you've seen the show before, you already know that, and if not, I despise Twitter. But the guy had one of the greatest tweets I've ever seen in my life, man. I got to use a little blue lane, not blue, but I just want to warn people.
Yeah.
Somebody had written that said, "Yo, man, how you pull so many bitches?" And he literally wrote a real tweet from him. He wrote back and he was like, "I have a lot of girlfriends because I don't refer to them as bitches. Little respect goes a long way." I thought that was a fantastic. I'm like, dude, that is so cool, man.
And called from way back in 1974. If James Caan, Warren Beatty, and Jack Nicholson are wanting to come to your party, you are revolutionary. That's just all there is to it. He created a lifestyle. Nobody was living the Playboy lifestyle until Playboy.
until Hef told him what it was.
Until he created it.
For real, man.
I'm just really want to make everybody understand how much I like that dude. And if you came to a young 6-ish, 8-ish, 6 to 7-ish year old Jared and said, because I understand most people's movie for this particular actress is she's across the board. I'll say E.T. My movie for Drew Barrymore was Cat's Eye or Firestarter. But from what most people will know her from, I'll say E.T. If you would come to a young Jared and said, "There's this guy named Hugh Hefner you don't even know yet, but when you're of age to look at it and she's of age to do it, you're going to get to see her naked," I would have just looked at you and been like, "I don't know him, but I love him."
I understand.
Man, you run down the list of the girls that were in the magazine, going back, you can go back to the early days if you want to with the Marilyn Monroes and stuff like that, but of my era, it was the Carmen Electras, the Anna Nicole's, the Pamela Andersons, the Jenny McCarthy's. And so, just,
And Drew.
And Drew.
Still my favorite. Still my favorite ever one too, man. I love it. That was one of the many things we bonded over when we were younger, man.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore was wonderful.
Man, just awesome. And I will be the first to admit she did not have the best photographer that day, but she still showed up and was herself, and that's all you really needed to do. And if you used to watching this show, man, the WWE women's performers that were in that magazine were they got pretty much everybody in that time period except Lita and Sunny, I think.
I think the big swing and a miss was probably Trish, because Trish looked like a Hugh Hefner style Playboy model, and I'm pretty sure that Trish has said a couple of times that she was approached and she said no. Everybody was cool in the game. Vince was cool. Hef was cool. That nobody. It wasn't a thing. It was literally just an opportunity. And well, that's kind of neat.
Why not? But,
yeah, totally. It was just like, it's cool. They were real cool about it. That's kind of nice, man. I think that's groovy.
I understand why some of the girls that did it, and I understand why they wouldn't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I might have kids one day. You know, they don't need to see all that.
Yeah.
And then somebody like Sunny to go on and do what she did anyway. Like,
Why'd you leave that check on the table?
yeah, he left a lot laying there.
Yeah, man.
And we're talking about like Sunny 1996,
Yeah.
not 2011.
Yeah, primetime crossover. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you, man.
So I just, man, big bucket of wind to Hugh. So, just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah, love that tweet, man. I know that's silly, but it started circulating again after he passed away, and I'm like, oh, I'd forgotten how much I like that. That's cool,
Yeah.
man. That's cool.
And I guess a lot of people know what they know about him from that. I don't even remember what the name of that reality
The
show
Girls
was.
Next Door.
The Girls Next Door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't. He even on that show, I think he came off pretty well. It was just the girls on that show that and they were fine. It's just
the one, isn't
the
it?
one in particular, kind of
Yeah.
like the one that's stuck around.
Yeah.
Like, Psh, you can have it.
It is the
No
strange.
thanks.
It is the strangest thing, and nobody believes it. And that's okay. I still think it's fun. It's a fun story. So I'll tell you the reason I know that show. Seems like there's a reason I should know the show, but I'm a brunette guy, just so you know. And I was dating a wonderful brunette at the time who loved that show. She had like the biggest crush on Bridget. So
Yeah.
we would watch it, and we had a good time watching that show, man. So that's how come I know what that is, man. Because I was a Holly fan, and she was a Bridget fan, and then
Yeah.
neither one of us cared about.
Kendra.
Yeah. It's just like it was like, holy crap, why she still got the show?
Man, she this skin crawling laugh that she had. I was like, man, please just stop talking and
Don't
never
nobody say nothing funny, please.
stop talking and never let her come around again. But it made you feel like, okay, in Hef's later years, it may be some of his, what do you say, taste might have waned a little bit, but he's going, hey, they want a TV show. I'll let them live here.
It'll be good for the show. Be good for the show, guys.
So that's what's up.
Yeah, that is what's up with Hef.
And you want to talk about going to the Tech game?
I can make it real quick because it's going to sound an awful lot like last week. I'm very, very happy to say. Went back to see Tech again, man. More noon games, which drive me crazy. I get it. It's better for the team, but they make me crazy. But, boy, this is going to sound familiar. Offense showed up, played crazy again, kept turning the ball over. Once again, defense stepping up. And not just stepping up and going crazy statistically, man, but, again, whenever you turn the ball over and don't give up points, good things happen, man. And North Carolina's always kind of been a bugaboo for us, man. 33-7 Tech. They just showed out, man. They played awesome yesterday, so I was very happy about that. And on the other side of town, or Knoxville as it would have been yesterday, man, how about that mess, man? And I hate to be that way. I have dear friends who love the University of Tennessee, but there's something, I'm hoping that it's part one of a two-part story, because that's my gut feeling on what's going to happen with Georgia and Florida getting together.
Yeah.
It has been years since Georgia absolutely skinned Florida. I think it's about time.
I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully that will be just a few weeks. Usually around Halloween when that happens. Tennessee deserves to lose for wearing those ugly uniforms.
like the Rocky Mountain Gray.
No.
A lot of people
no,
don't. I love them
don't.
myself, but a lot of people are not into them, man, because they want the orange and white. I get it. Tradition's tradition.
I just they've probably been doing this for years, and I've never noticed. But some genius above the stadium sends out these flyers to do the checkerboard in your section. You're supposed to wear white or orange, and you're gonna go to that trouble and wear gray on the field, and it just looks like a terrible cross color version of the jersey that like something that would have been sold we'll never actually wear. And they actually wore it, and he's like, oh man, this just looks awful. But after the comeback that Tennessee had against Georgia last year, I just think it's kind of like, well, come back from this.
Yeah, I can totally.
Come back on this.
I can totally get behind that, man, because it's like, okay. Yeah, I dig it. It was cool with me, man, because we've already played Tennessee. We have yet to play Georgia, so it's better for me if Georgia does well. But I do like them going out. I shouldn't say I like them going out and stomping them, but I love Butch Jones, man. But Butch, since he got that job, we might have talked about this last week. We definitely will now. Butch Jones, like any other coach in the Southeastern Conference that is hired with an offensive background, is a defensive coordinator away from being made or broken. It's as simple as that. Well, Steve Spurrier was down there in Florida. Who was Steve Spurrier's defensive coordinator when they won the national title? Bob Stoops. He did okay for himself, so that's the thing. And it always depends. It's not to say that offensive guys can't win in the Southeastern Conference. It's just you better get the DC right.
Has that happened yet? Have they got rid of him, or is it just coming?
I'm pretty sure it's coming. Okay. I think it's really hard to get rid of people mid-season. You can do it, but I think it's a lot of money. It's funky.
Get past the midpoint.
Yeah,
that'll start happening.
I think it depends on whether or not John Gruden's answering the phone. I know that's stupid. I know Gruden is a guy that gets thrown up for every job possible, but he does have that interview back in the day where they asked him, well, what job would it take to get you to come back? What's your dream job, John Gruden? And he said Knoxville, man. He point blank said the Vol Navy. And I'm like, well, I understand then. If I was a Tennessee fan, I'd be holding on to that too. I'd be excited by that.
Why not? Why not entertain that?
Yeah, it's better than the Bob Stoops Notre Dame thing that came up 5,000 times and he had to deny. Like, it's just every year he had to openly deny it. Like, you guys, no, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. Well, Urban Meyer will take that job. He's a Catholic. If you know anything about Urban Meyer, man, you know, as soon as Florida killed Ohio State, that game wasn't halftime, and I'm like, well, there's your next coach. Yeah. You knew it was coming, man, because I appreciate that Catholicism is a religion and it's people's faith, but being an Ohioan's a cult, man, and that's where he's from.
Yeah. We had our college football Saturday and pro football Sunday today. Yeah. I don't care what you think about it. Let's just move on. And who knew the Buffalo Bills would show out the way they did today, but they did.
The Bills are
Falcons.
The Bills are a creepy, scary team, man, because it's like some of the dudes post-game were talking about. This is very funny because they're right. I mean, it's like Tyrod Taylor has been getting replaced next week as the starter of the Bills since he got that job, and he just keeps on being Tyrod Taylor. And being a Tech fan, I had to watch that kid in Blacksburg. Yep. I know Tyrod Taylor can play. I'm not telling you I knew he'd be this good on Sundays. I just know he can play. Yeah. So him getting the opportunity and cashing in, it's pretty great. I mean, I wish the Falcons would have won, but ultimately, I'm just ripping off what the guys on the game said because they made really good points today. Mm-hmm. If you're going to lose to somebody in the AFC. Yeah. Why the heck not? It cost you the least of anything. Yeah. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago with the Packers. Like, I don't think there are very, very many teams that can outscore the Falcons. So here we go again because, boy, can I be a broken record when it comes to sports. It's just going to be what defense they bring with them. And Buffalo can play defense. Now, the thing now, and I know this is the snowball that will start rolling down the hill, but let me give it my shove. If Buffalo's going to play defense like that or halfway like that the rest of the season, how is New England going to beat them? Because their defense is god-awful.
They can't beat anybody anyway.
Their defense is awful, and that's the problem is they're giving up 30 a game. So if Tommy can get 40, which he can, but the Falcons can't outscore anybody. The Patriots apparently have to. Yeah. Like, holy crap, man. How great would that be if the Bills made the playoffs, man? It's been a long time since anybody in that division did anything other than New England.
I think somebody said this is the first time since '92 that they're 3-1.
That's awesome.
So that's
92 ended up pretty good for them.
That's looking good.
That would be cool, man. That'd be all right. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I hate they got us, but again, it could have been way worse, man. It's a strange back-to-back days because I taped. United was in New England yesterday, playing against the Revolution, which was a god awful game to watch on TV, man. Because unlike the Benz, thank God the turf is the turf, but in Gillette. Even the Patriots are playing less than 48 hours later, so it's all chalked up and it's got the end zones. I couldn't see a thing, man. But it was just one of those weird games that had a weird feel to it as well. But it finished nothing. Brad Guzan showed out for us and got us a point, so thank God we got the point. But it's just about 20 minutes in, it's like, please get the point, because it just didn't feel like we was going to win. So, okay, good. All right, so at least we got us one and still trying to get second place. Toronto did finish up the Supporters' Shield yesterday, which is – it's very messed up. I'm very much gushy about United because they play so well and it's my team because it is my team and they're right down the street and all that stuff, man. But for all the history book stuff that Atlanta United have done for like first-year support and points, wins, goals, all this great stuff, Toronto, we talked about it one time before, they really have like set the standard history book-wise. It's great. It's really cool. And also a very cool note for the league top to bottom. 4th year in a row, a different team has won the Supporters' Shield, which is basically It's basically what would be the equivalent of the championship in Europe.
Okay.
You've played the season. Here's your points. You got more points than anybody. So 4 different teams doing that is cool. I like that. I'm happy about that. Yeah, I think so too. I'm happy about that for a league that's they all try to keep pay relative, and they're it is America, so the parity thing is great. The NFL and the NBA. The NBA's not really doing it now because they're marketing more to China, but. The China, I wish I could say that the way the current press does. The China, I can't do it. I wish I could say it the way he does it, or the way Daryl Hammond does. That's the thing we talked about. This is way off course. We talked about. Got tired of seeing Alec Baldwin do Trump on Saturday Night Live. Man, if they just kept Daryl Hammond doing it, I'd still watch every week.
Yeah, man.
That's my man.
As I think it just handcuffs that show for a whole season to have the Alec Baldwin show, and I just pepper them in there, but just don't make it every week.
Every week, yeah. It's like title defenses. I think that title defenses should be, if you want to defend the title on television, twice in a month, every now and again. I think it should be like 3 times every 2 months.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the championship every week, man. It's not special that way. And it's so messed up because it's either every single week, like the women's championship, or Brock. There's this huge gulf, man. It's like, dude, we got to find a middle ground here somewhere, man.
Yeah. And speaking of returns, I'm getting ready for SNL to return soon. Tonight's the Curb Your Enthusiasm premiere that we're
thrilled.
I couldn't decide. Do you want to watch the episode and do a review of it? No, that's not really a show that I would do a review of. Just you go enjoy it. So that's what we're gonna go watch as soon as we're doing this, and just leading up to this show. And I think it's like been gone for like at least 4 years, maybe close to 5. It's a lot to look forward to, but they were running a marathon, and it's got to be my favorite episode is the Bill Butner episode. So if you don't know Curb Your Enthusiasm, if you didn't even watch the last season, I think that's the show. That's the episode that you'll either love it or hate it. So watch that, and then you can definitely know if this is the show for you or not.
I completely agree. The 3rd season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, front to back, is probably my single favorite season of television ever.
Yeah.
But that's the season. Single episode, I'm totally with the man. Bill Buckner is the best, one of the best single episodes of television I've ever seen, and exactly like you were saying, a great litmus test.
Yeah.
For if you watch and you're like, holy crap, this is amazing, dude. Watch every other episode ever, and you'll be happy.
My description of Curb Your Enthusiasm was all these people back in like early 2000, 2001, whenever that show started. It was belly aching about, there's nothing good. Seinfeld's been gone. Like, y'all, it never left. And now he can cuss.
Exactly. It's the George Costanza show where George can curse.
Yeah, it can curse, have more adult situations. It doesn't really get into the nudity stuff. Which, because, you don't have to. It's still funny and worth watching and, just checking it out.
Yeah, like naked bits don't distract you from the jokes, so they don't put them in there. I mean, dude, like the greatest sex joke ever is when the passenger seat in his car is messed up. I don't even have to say anything else, man. But
that's in the Bill Buckner episode.
Oh, wow.
It is.
Got that, dude. Watch Buckner, then you have to.
It's so packed full of so much stuff going on, just like the way a really good Seinfeld used to be.
Yeah.
There's so much going on that everything comes together.
Man, I totally forgot that being the same episode. That is just awesome. But to the point, and it's exactly what you're saying, is there's that much good stuff in that episode that it seems like the 4 best episodes of that show ever.
What they're driving to at the end of the episode, I won't spoil. Larry has no choice but to let Susie ride with him. And that's where Butner gets his redemption, and she's going because just for no reason she has to have a ride, and he has this passenger seat that girls like to ride in because it bounces, and the look on his face when he's riding with her and she's enjoying it, it's awesome. It's
the pan back and forth. It's the worst, man.
Looking forward to that.
Me too, man. Even more now because we're talking about the things from it we like.
We respect wood.
we absolutely respect wood.
Check this out.
That's right.
I'm drinking late coffee tonight just because I'm dumb.
I'm really, really a bad one to just drink coffee all day. I try to cut back, and I'm down to about 3 cups a day. But I'm with you. I will do it any time.
I'm a one a dayer, but yes, at the most 2. But if it's a second one, it's probably like a small frappuccino kind of thing.
Yeah. What I try and do is I just take those ridiculous just the coffee cups and put about that much coffee in it.
Yeah.
And do that about 3 times a day.
Sweet.
But I really 2's better. But I love late night coffee. I love it just as a dessert, or it's very cool. It is the absolute first thing I do second thing I do in the morning. But as far as food stuff goes, that's my thing. Gotta have it. Gotta have my coffee in the morning, man. And even then, I'm still a complete grouch for about 2 hours. But
Oh yeah, man.
I hate it. I hate waking up, y'all. I hate it. I love white noise, and I hate waking up. That's things about me. Other things about me is I'm a dork, and I like to experiment with stuff. And I told the man about this earlier, but I haven't told him the results because we're going to have fun with this.
Rock and roll.
We mentioned the PWI 500 not too long ago,
Yeah.
and it was cool. I finally got my complimentary. Now, I got my hard copy,
Yeah.
and went through it, and it's very, very cool. I'm having a lot of fun reading it. But I'm a tag team guy, so what I decided I would do was take the list and put tag teams together and then find an average of where their rankings are in order to kind of synthesize is the word I'm looking for, I guess.
You have a matrix.
The PWI best tag teams. And there ain't 500 of them, I promise. I don't even do that many of them.
Yeah.
But I just did Ring of Honor and WWE because those are the guys we know and it's guys we can talk about. There's more people. Like there were 2 teams from Global or Impact or whatever they called it that were really well thought of. One of them was like a couple of dudes that wrestled, like Shane Helms is their manager. And then there was one that was Abyss and Crazy Steve, but I don't know the show.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they did good, but I just don't know it.
Yeah.
But
Couldn't tell
these are the results. Excuse me, I'm belching because I respect wood, but I'm drinking that quick. Of PWI's top tag teams. I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to pick cool ones because they're fun to talk about.
Rock and roll.
It's kind of neat. The top team, for some reason, I don't know why it surprised me, because when you think about it, it's not surprising at all. When you look at just it's not the last calendar year, but basically June to June. It's pretty much what it is. We'll start at the top, start at the bottom. Actually, we'll start at the top and then just scroll down.
That's cool.
The top guys at an average of 29.7 was the freaking Wyatt family, which really does make sense when you think about it. Now, to be fair, a huge chunk of that is going to be Bray and Randy's solo world title reigns, which has nothing to do with the team.
Yeah.
But if you take the
I don't know
numbers...
if they were even still a team.
No, this is June to June.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not teams, not what they're doing now.
Yeah.
It's what they did then. That's how come I like throw them in here, because there's one, we'll actually get to that in a second, because there's one that's very difficult to understand how I feel about where they are, because what are we counting?
Okay.
But yeah, that's the whole deal is for what they did, man, and with the title reign being mentioned in there and being a part of it, I'm like, okay. But Randy was 13, Bray was 15, and Luke Harper is 61. I didn't put Eric Rowan in there simply because when they held the tag belts, it was those 3 guys that freebirded it.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. Number 2 is not a surprise at all. Take a guess who the top ranked tag team in the world is.
Oh, it's got to be them Hung Bucks.
It's the Hung Bucks, yeah, man. The Young Bucks, as far as real life tag teams go, got a 41, which is kind of awesome. So I'm happy about that because I love those guys and good for them.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. Red Dragon is 3, Hardy Boys 4, and that's what's so interesting about the Hardys is like
Way up there.
It's very cool, but it's like mostly going to be based on their TNA stuff.
Yeah.
And they won those belts, and they went to Ring of Honor and won those belts, and then this happened with WrestleMania still in there. So that win got in there too, and I'm like, that's just awesome. That is just totally awesome. All 3 of those wins fell in the category, so that's cool.
Same calendar year.
In the same calendar year, friends, the PWI calendar. 5 is The Addiction, which is kind of cool because I love Daniels. I love Frankie Kazarian. Love the guy. So it's kind of cool to get them in there, man. And again, a lot of that would be Daniels winning the belt solo, but I'm counting it because I like them and I just want to give them some love. Sheamus and Cesaro is next, which is not a surprise at all. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're in there just because I like Sheamus. I love Cesaro. That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
The New Day, the Club, which I'm still trying to figure out. Love them as I do. When I start naming off some of the teams under them, you're going to have to explain to me how in the world. I mean, I get it. I get they won the Raw Tag Belts once. and I love them to death. But
They should have been used more.
I agree. Where they are in the list makes me feel better because it's like, well, in this fantasy world where they were used properly, yeah, I would probably have them up there too.
Yeah.
But the guys right underneath them are DIY. Now, I understand if you think the Raw titles are a bigger deal than NXT, okay, but match quality is where I'm at. And I love the club. Better than DIY, get out of here.
Yeah.
The Uzos, Roppongi Vice, the Briscoes, Enzo and Cass are 102.
Really?
That's just completely incorrect. Now, I get it. I get that Dave Meltzer, up until about 6 hours ago, hated Enzo Amore. He's kissing his hiney now all of a sudden, which I'm quite happy to say. Enzo at 205. These two suckers right here knew it would work. We knew it would work. 205 Live. This is a great opportunity to talk about something we've talked about off camera. We'll talk about it now. 205 Live is dying a slow death because they didn't NXT it. It's exactly what the man was saying about, I don't know what to call the Mae Young division, but if they're going to do an all-women's show that's the Mae Young division, please make it a destination. Like Full Sail. This is where we shoot this program. Come be a part of it. Because by God we will. And so will anyone else that's into it, man. I think the touring companies get hurt, especially 205, because you're attacking on the end of SmackDown. People have been there 2 hours anyway.
Yeah.
But if you give them a place, if you give them a place, this is where it is. Go watch it. People will go watch it. You wouldn't need them then, but now you need a talker because it's WWE, man.
That's never understood why are you going to have the 205 guys on Raw, but then film it after SmackDown?
Film it after SmackDown. That's the dumbest. I completely agree,
Why?
man. Put them in a tool shed.
Put them on SmackDown.
Put them in tool shed somewhere. Let people go to them. All that specific stuff, that's what they should. I think that would work way better. That and also the big point, like you was talking about, man, is pick a director of operations. Pick somebody like, here, this is your, go make this thing.
Yeah.
Go make the Mae Young show. That'd be freaking awesome. We're not going to bother you until we decide to call your talent up. You won't hear from us. That would be awesome.
Cool.
205 would have been fine, but you ruined it.
Enzo got some of that preliminary heat.
It's insane.
Affect the rating.
It is insane
ranking.
how everybody hates Enzo. And it's like, well, it's working, ain't it?
Yeah.
That Promo E Cup was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
And again, you would not need that if it was a destination show. But it's not. If you're going to put those guys in with the rest of the WWE main roster, you have to cater to the people that like the main roster, which is mouthpieces, trash talk, kind of heel. I mean, that's what people like now.
Yep.
Hook them up, man. American Alpha, Slater and Rhino, and that's more my thing, man. I'm picking on my guys that I
I
love.
think Slater and Rhino would have. That was huge. That would have kept them way up there.
How are the club ranked so high and Slater and Rhino are so low? That's exactly what I thought too. Is like if those guys were up higher, I would have felt better about it. But it's like, dude, what did I miss?
For somebody finally getting something to do.
No kidding, man. It's like that's really unfair. I thought that should have been higher too, man. Motor City Machine Guns, War Machine. The Revival's way down, but I think that the first injury was
really
included
hurt.
in this, and
Really
it hurt
hurt.
them.
And then the second one hurt even worse.
No kidding, man. Gorillas of Destiny, Hype Bros, Brizango is way too low, but I think this was before the Fashion Files, and so I think they'll I would assume they're going to move up because they're way too good for that.
Yeah.
Shining Stars, I was just happy they were in there because I love those guys. I think they're great. Authors of Pain, and then the Ascension. But it's just kind of interesting to take them and put them in order and see what came back. But that was the one thing that was the one thing that really messed with me, man. I guess it's not that. I think you're totally right. It's not really that the club is as high as they are. It's like Slater and Rhino have to be higher than this, man. That was really cool, man. That was a lot of fun. And if winning the tag belts is what it's about, then they really should be in there because they did that. Yeah, they did that.
You know, I mean, they haven't done crap with them since, but hey, when it was good, it was really good.
Those SmackDown tag belts have been useless pretty much. I mean, people say that Bray and Randy, that was like the high water mark. It's like, what says all you need to know, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's no thanks.
For real. That crap is cool, man. It was fun, dude.
And speaking of Randy, he was on Edge and Christian's podcast and really came off really, really well. Not like you would expect him to, but I still just have no interest.
The only podcast I've ever heard Randy Orton do, man, shocked me because I just thought he was great. But I'm with the man. It's work. Work's all I care about. And I'm just not a fan of his style. Ain't my thing. But I'm tired of being a babyface. I want to be a heel. Yeah, because burning down people's houses. Boy, I'm tired of that. Okay. But nah, he's cool. The guy seems like a pretty cool dude, man, which is nice because you've heard both. Well, I haven't really heard the jerk stuff in a while, except from fans who are upset that he didn't sign for me in the middle of his workout. I know whose side I'm on there.
Yeah, man. There's always the whole story isn't being told
Oh
when you
yeah,
get those. I had a bad experience with him. Stories like
it was not right.
it was probably 3 in the morning. He's probably had his hands full of luggage, and you're sticking God knows what in his face with your baby,
Yeah.
hanging off your back
Yeah.
at 3 in the morning. Like,
All
get
of the-
out of my face with that crap.
Two of my least favorite wrestlers on earth, just from like the show perspective, are Randy Orton and Sasha Banks, and both of them get routinely killed for how rude they are to fans. I'm always going to be on their side. I just
Yeah.
am. I'm like, get out of here, get
Yeah.
out of here, because we've talked about that. I think we maybe talked about it on the show before, man. WWE, unless it's The Undertaker, is so good about meet and greets and signings. There are opportunities to meet these people
Yeah.
without you harassing
Yeah.
them. So anytime jump the line or drop the velvet rope, I'm on their side. Screw you.
It's downright stalkerish behavior
Mm-hmm.
that some of these people do. And just listening to Sasha mentioned it in an interview she did, and Duff McKagan on Jericho's podcast was talking about how you're not supposed to know I'm here. And you're and basically I think it's Southwest Airlines and American Airlines that sells people's information.
For real.
So hopefully, they'll saying that enough times will make it stop. But yeah, I'm one of those nerds that goes down and loves to go to Access anytime it's where I can drive to it. But then there's a term referred to as airport access, and I'm just like, I'll never take part.
I'm totally with you
I
on
mean,
that, man.
why is access not enough?
There's a lot of stuff I like, but I'm with you. It's good to have your own parameters and I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Totally
yeah,
with you, man.
That's a bridge too far, brother.
Yeah, that stuff is messed up, man.
That's just too far.
For real.
And it's like you're saying that they're the guys. There are certain people that's the only way you have to get them. It's like, well, I think they do that for a reason.
Oh yeah, dude. It's
So you're not going to have a good experience with them.
yeah, it sounds like a diss on Undertaker, and it's really not. It's just that guy's not available for that stuff. He doesn't do that stuff, but darn near everybody else does. So you don't really have an excuse to go tracking them down and being a dick.
I think Undertaker and Stone Cold are the guys that it's like many times as people ask, like it's not gonna happen. And Undertaker, I mean, when it comes to access, I think he usually does his one, and he has filled in in emergencies for people. That's always that's one of the good stories you hear about him. It's like
Yeah, man.
there was the issues that Flair had. I think it might have been SummerSlam or WrestleMania. But he had to go home and bury his son,
Yeah, it was.
and so somebody has to step in, and Taker's like, I'm here for that. So there's
surprising at all, is it?
There's good stories about the guys.
Oh, dude.
Coming
That's,
up.
yeah, no. Again, the whole point I bring the guy up is just to be like, that guy. That's just not. He's not routinely on the schedule. Every single other person is. I guess it's just that scale kind of thing.
Throughout the year.
Yeah, I guess
there's usually somewhere close by somehow they'll make appearances in your general vicinity.
Yeah, I guess my point about bringing Taker up is if you don't understand why Undertaker's not available all the time, you're too stupid for me to help you. That's the whole point. Is like it's not a suggestion that Undertaker should be out there all the time. It's like, dude, okay, I get it.
That's kind of that's the gimmick, brother.
Yeah, that's it, brother. Yeah, it's like, man, nah, you got to understand. There's a sense here, there's a pecking order here.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I just think that harassing folks is. I'm with you. It's just not my thing. Not my thing, man.
It gives me a creeps.
Yeah.
Worse than it already does, just going to shows like that. But one cool thing, a review I haven't been to see a movie in, feels like all summer. But a few weeks back there was a sale on High Spots, and I ordered some videos and did an unboxing on this channel. And one of the DVDs that I got was called The Power of the Freight Train. And good Lord, is it good. It's a really, really neat story about the $5 wrestling phenomenon, first and foremost, and then the star that emerged from it. And before I turned the documentary on, I never really understood the problem that some people had with it. There's like the Rip Rogers and Jim Cornettes of the world that were actively campaigning against a show that's nobody's making anybody go see it. Nobody's making anybody come. And nobody's making anybody order the DVDs or the poster or the really go feature. But there were $5 wrestling was apparently killing the business to them at the time, and it's just like just get over it, get over yourself, but clearly. After the second volume came out, one of the stars that emerged was Freight Train, and just just it's really really good story, motivational stuff, and this friend that was promoting and running the show, their bond that they had together, and their feud that eventually ends up happening. That's what the documentary is about, and it's just really really neat and awesome to check out. And speaking of, if guys come anywhere near your neck of the woods, the next time there's an appearance by those guys, I'll have to go check it out.
That's awesome, man. It's ridiculous, but we have to do it. Yeah, we have to do it, man. But you're right, like nobody's asking you to buy the ticket. Mm-hmm. Nobody's asking you to buy the lanyard. Nobody's asking you. It's stupid, but of course it put in my head merchandise.
Oh yeah.
And being merchandise, we have to go back to number 2 on the list and talk about the Young Bucks story of the week. I have got to get your take on what's going on with the Young Bucks, and then I'll give you mine.
The whole thing.
Yes.
I mean, just keep on doing it, and just keep on getting those cease and desist. Because how can you copyright something like that? How is that possible?
That's been a huge.
I think the power that WWE and certain copyright holders have is just the fear that they can actually use that cease and desist, which they really can't. But if they send it out, maybe it'll work. It'll get them to stop.
It's very interesting. I've had a really good time with this story just because I can't, as a monstrous Young Bucks fan, I'm not sure why I'm supposed to be so concerned. Like people that don't like the Young Bucks having a good time with it, I totally understand that. This Twitter, it's what I totally get people needling them. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand is people like me that love the Bucks being really concerned about it going away. And I guess my question is, what does it actually change about what you like about the Bullet Club? Yeah. Because every single thing that they do from bell to bell has nothing to do with any of that. Mm-hmm. The Too Sweet chant is the fans anyway, and they're going to keep doing that. Yeah. The Being the Elite theme song chant is way cooler and way more fun. So I just don't understand, because my whole thing was all the DX like suck it references. This was not something I liked about the Young Bucks. It was something I tolerated about them, because Jared can tell you I despised DX. I hated the Generation X so much that it was just like, okay, whatever. So when they had to stop doing that, I was almost like, hey, I like them even better now. But I don't understand why it's a big deal. I understand why it's hilarious and wonderful in this regard. Have you seen the T-shirt?
No.
Okay. It's a T-shirt of Nick Jackson doing that and Matt Jackson doing that, with little bubbly cop bleeps over their hands, and it says censored. And literally across the top it says cease and desist. At the bottom it says 2S hashtag star whatever. Mm-hmm. They were on sale on Pro Wrestling Tees about 8 hours later.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It just seems like a good time for everybody to me. I think it really seems like Vince is having a good time. I just don't see it as this like vicious, terrible thing. Mm-hmm. I don't, because the whole thing, like you said, well, you can't copyright a hand gesture. A lot of people have said that, and they're not wrong, because by God, if the University of Texas made you pay for that, every heavy metal band in the world would be broke.
Heck yeah.
But I don't know if that's true or not. But the fact of it is, like you were talking about, it's if you get them, the whole like, he's trying to take CM Punk to court and bankrupt him. That is the fear with guys like the Young Bucks, is you can fight it, but they got more money than you do, and they'll just run the clock out. That's the problem with lawsuit culture in this country. Yeah. I don't think they care. I don't think anybody cares that much, man. But you just get a lot of Twitter mileage out of the beef. Mm-hmm. And so what? I mean, you're already selling T-shirts. You're already making money off of it, man.
Storylines.
Dude, it's like Vince. It's free advertising for Vince. Yeah. The rebuttal is basically Vince's C&D is free advertising for WWE. The whole kerfuffle between the two companies is literally free advertising for the new T-shirt. Who doesn't win here?
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It's just not that big. Well, they just go to court and they tie it up forever. I ain't going to court over a hand gesture. It's like I put this on a comment board somewhere. I'm like, look, man, it's a worn-out catchphrase and a shadow puppet. I'm not going to miss either one of these things, and I can't believe anybody is. But it's very, very fun. I mean, the shirt was hilarious. Honest to God, it was no time at all. Like, just to where, and this really is not meant to be cynical. I thought it was funny. It's like they had, somebody designed that T-shirt way back in the day.
We knew it was coming.
There is no way that you got that design ready that fast. It was all like, we're going to poke Vince until he actually sends us a real one of these. Then we're going to get rich off of these T-shirts.
Yeah.
Again. I love it. I just think it's good for everybody. It's the same thing with like people twittering back and forth and stuff like that. That stuff, man, that's advertisement for everybody. It's awesome. Everybody wins on that. Why not?
It seems like there was a news story this past summer, or maybe earlier than that, where Gene Simmons from Kiss.com had attempted. He had attempted to do that.
Yeah.
He had attempted to copyright, the
Metal horns.
I Love Rock and Roll
Yeah.
song, but then you realize that, like, first of all, you can't do that. Second of all, that has multiple meanings. So, I'm glad you think that he thinks he invented it. Ronnie James Dio will say he did, but you can't do that. So, better look next time.
For real. Yeah,
Gino.
man. It's like,
Gino.
dude, just who really? I can't believe it's that big of a deal. And then that's the one funny conversation where it goes into then is like, well, now, Shawn Michaels needs to take him to court over the super kick. Well, you want to talk about things you can't copyright. Secondly, Shawn Michaels did not invent that move. Who the heck knows who did?
Probably Ricky Morton.
The first, Ricky tell you did. But who was the first pro wrestler to kick another one in the face? Come on, man, get out of here. And that stuff is so silly. But it's like, come on, y'all, don't be ridiculous. But the thing about
That stuff don't crap.
well, now they got to come up with something original. That is the most surefire. You might as well wear a sign that says, "I've never seen the Young Bucks wrestle," because I mean that's okay. But it's like this whole thing is just funny. It's very, very funny. But to the complete other end of the spectrum, where like so many of the Bucks fans got legit mad. Oh, Vince is just such a jerk, man. Why? Who cares? This whole thing is so much fun. But then the T-shirts come out, and 75% of the comments are WWE fans who are legitimately furious over the T-shirt. I don't understand why anybody cares this much. How can you not just chuckle at all of it?
Hot Topic's going to make money. Everybody's going to make money. Don't worry. And have they produced the cease and desist document yet? Does it even exist? Was this all work, brother?
It depends. If you listen to Uncle Dave, well, listen to Meltzer. He's really crying about it. He's really upset. I think he's more upset about it than the Bucks legal team. And it's like,
Why would he
calm
care?
down, because they invented the Meltzer driver.
For
It's his
Christ's sake.
favoriteest team of all time because they have a move named after him. You know that's why he digs it.
See, he's what everybody always says about him.
It's true. He sits in the front row at PWG.
He loves the guys that love him.
He does. He sits in the front row at PWG, and they call him out in the ring, and there you have it, because it's just great.
Okay.
Why do you invent a move called the Meltzer driver? Because he's going to talk about
Yeah.
you. They're all about free advertisement. Vince
Yeah.
McMahon's pretty good at that too. This whole thing is just awesome. It's not quite the Bucks.
We know they're going to show up in the tag tournament next year.
Oh, sure. That's the whole point, man. That's the thing, because it's just a matter of times everybody wants that money. I mean, you do realize that they just turned down a gigantic check from New Japan to be at home for Halloween.
Yeah.
That forget that. The heck with people actually telling you, no, I want to spend Halloween with my kids and not miss my wedding anniversary. And it doesn't matter anyway, man, because it's not like Vince is hurting without him. They ain't hurting without him. Everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
It's a really fun story if you just let yourself enjoy it. The man knows. We talk about this stuff all the time. It's very, very fun if you just let yourself enjoy it. The only one, and it's possibly just because she's the best actor of all of them, the only one that seems to have legitimate anger towards Stamford is Brandy Rhodes.
That's true.
Because Brandy's nasty. Her like tweets they're like almost too Barbie.
A little vicious.
Yeah, because it's like, I see what you're doing. I'm gonna tell everybody. Woo, But either that or like Cody says, she's the most business of all of them. So maybe that's all it is. But it's a lot of fun, man. This whole thing, we got to book an invasion angle. No, you don't. This is so much more fun.
Yeah.
It's so much cooler.
Do that in NXT. Don't do it with the main roster stuff. Because why wouldn't you have done it before?
Ring of Honor have already booked their own invasion angle, man. That's what's up. And it's ingenious, too, because this is literally call it on the fly stuff. When Christopher Daniels won the world title, it was the coolest thing ever because he'd been around for so long and had never held that belt, and he finally got it. That's awesome. Everybody was so happy. The "You Deserve It" chant went up, which is overused, but when you can really mean it, it's kind of cool. So that was awesome. What a great moment. I think it's his first defense ever is against Cody, and the entire arena turns on him, and they want Cody to win, and of course Cody's booked to win. And the very next week, him and Kazarian come out and cut the promo like, you guys don't deserve us. You got to be kidding me, man. It was the coolest thing in the world that I was champ right up to your Too Sweet Bullet Club man can get it. But now that he's got it and you're all happy, here's what's going to happen. We're going to come out here every single week and we're going to crap on the Young Bucks, and we're going to crap on Marty Scurll, and we're going to crap on Cody, and we're going to crap on anybody else that you're into, because this is a company where you're supposed to dig wrestling and tradition, and we're going to make everything boring and awful. We're going to ruin your show. They've already booked their own invasion. It's like, that is freaking awesome, man. Oh, it's too good. It's too good. All that stuff is fun, man. I'm with you on that. I love it. But it's good to get the man's take, because I'm just like, this whole week I've had so much fun with this from people just taking it too seriously.
Yep.
It's not your money. Don't worry about it.
They're both going to be just
They're doing
fine.
just fine.
Dandy fine.
Vince is just trying to use Ring of Honor to promote. No. Vince McMahon is promoting WWE? Oh, my God. What will the church elders say? It's like ridiculous. Why are you mad at him for this?
Larry David.
Yeah, for real. No. Oh. that like literally, Ring of Honor kids reacted to the C&D like Larry did to Susie in the passenger seat.
That was the Vivica Fox coming out of the illness. He's like,
Oh my good gracious. Oh God. That scene is so awful. It is awesome. That is so messed up, man.
Larry and the Blacks.
Oh my gosh. I can't say the best line, Grandma's best line. I can't say it because I'm trying not to curse. You got to curse a lot to say her best line.
Yeah. So that's what's up.
That's the show, man.
We're going to go watch some Curve.
We are.
Y'all go do whatever you're going to do. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.